Part 37. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 361. Chapter 361 Method. You say that again, the old lady said angrily. You are not allowed to retreat. After all, it is your father's heart, how can it be measured by money? No matter how much you blame him, you can't waste it. Yang Sisi remained silent. The old lady made the decision, I will take away everything I can take away. If you can't take it all away, you can eat it yourself, okay. Yang Sisi couldn't resist her, so she yelled. The old lady said, when should we leave? I'm ready. This Friday Yang Sisi planned to leave after finalizing the house matters. It's only Monday today, so I have plenty of time, just enough for me to finish embroidering the quilt cover, the old lady said. Yang Sisi glanced around and saw the Xiangfei-colored fabric on the bed. It was made of cotton and was suitable for winter. There is a ring of fungus embroidered on the edge of the quilt, and the style is different from the ones at home. It's very beautiful. How much did it cost? The female neighbor next door works in a textile factory, and their factory distributes these things during holidays. She said she couldn't keep the pile at home, so she gave me a set. How could I take advantage of others in vain? I exchanged some gifts for them. The old lady put on her reading glasses, picked up her embroidery work and said, the quilt should be given to you when you get married. I thought it was too early for you to get married, but the naughty Li Junlu found a partner for you as soon as he brought you into the city. Fortunately, the banquet person is good, but he is a bit nervous. The old lady said this smoothly, then realized that it was inappropriate and added, don't mind if I tell him. Yang Sisi said generously, others say I don't mind, but you say I don't mind. The old lady was right. People who didn't know the truth thought he was crazy. The old lady smiled, I am still your special case. Well, are you happy? I'm so happy. The old lady picked up a filial granddaughter for nothing, how can she not be happy? Yang Sisi sat with the old lady for a while and then left and went directly to Qin Yanjun's unit. Before she could say anything, he said, your mother changed the locks? Do you have the key? No, I didn't change the locks when I went out at noon. Qin Yanjun took out 3 keys from the drawer, the biggest one is the key to the door, the middle one is for the main house, and the smallest one is for your house. Yang Sisi picked up the key, took a look at it and put it in his pocket, and told him that he was going to take the old lady back to his hometown. I plan to go back to my hometown this Friday. I need to use my account book and go to the street to write a letter of introduction and buy a train ticket. Qin Yanjun said, don't worry, I'll take care of this. It's really weird that your grandma has been here for so long and we haven't met her. Tomorrow you take her to the restaurant in Sugong's mansion and I'll treat her to a meal. Yang Sisi was afraid of meeting Lao Zhao and exposing herself, so she refused on the grounds that she was not used to restaurant food. I'll cook it at home. I'm free when I'm free. Going to a restaurant like that starts at 30 yuan. For the parents-in-law who have just bought a house for Qin and Jin's family, it is a big expense. She knew that their economy was not as well off as before, so how could she feel embarrassed to hug them? All right, buy something good. Well, I won't disturb you anymore. Yang Sisi left. Back to the courtyard, when I opened the door, I met my neighbor Aunt Jian, who smiled ambiguously, "Sisi, I really didn't know you were so powerful." What's so great? Yang Sisi was confused, what happened to her? Aunt Jian came closer and said, your Aunt Jin said that you gave up the banquet. As a college student, I just let you do whatever you want. You really give us women face. Yang Sisi, con? Didn't Aunt Jin leave early in the morning? When did Aunt Jian know? She will never admit to anything she has not done. Who said that? It's like she hid under the bed and saw it. It's absolutely nothing. Could she have run on top of a man? How shameful is this? She couldn't do it even if the lights were turned off. Aunt Jian laughed. Don't be shy, tell us. Auntie, Yang Sisi was annoyed. I don't make jokes like this. Seeing that the person was angry, Aunt Jian stopped her smile and said, okay, I won't say it anymore. Yang Sisi said, did you know that Aunt Jin didn't do it at our house? Aunt Jian said in surprise, I don't know, when did it happen? I saw her at the door 3 hours ago. That's what she said to me at that time. Yang Sisi's heart tightened. 3 hours ago? She had not been out for long at that time. Did you say it while standing at the door? Did she open the door and enter the house? I never expected that Aunt Jin would come back. The beating was lighter in the morning. No, she said she had done too much work these days and her body couldn't bear it, so she asked for leave to go home and rest for 2 days. Then she left, Aunt Jian said. Yang Sisi felt relieved. When Aunt Jin came, her mother-in-law should have already changed the locks. She told everything about Aunt Jin's attempts to instigate the relationship between their mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, as well as stealing cigarettes and alcohol from the house. When I saw her just now, she wanted to enter the house to get something, but she didn't have the key. Oh my God, she looks so honest, but she dares to steal things from her employer. Not only that, but they also discredited me. Yang Sisi was very angry. She had expected this, but she didn't expect the other party to be so impatient. Fortunately, Aunt Jian got close to her, and she talked to her face to face if she had anything to say. Otherwise, she might have been kept in the dark when rumors were flying around. Who is she? Aunt Jian and Yang Sisi said together that Aunt Jin was not her, and then said, she did this to you, do you have to sue her? Yang Sisi said, it's so easy to sue. Even if the father-in-law comes forward, the matter will probably take a while. She must fight back. Yang Sisi thought about it and found a way to deal with it. Teach the other person his own way. Applicable at all times. She went into the house, took the money, went straight to the black market, found the bookseller, and spent money to find out about a quarrelsome old woman in the west of the city. She ran over and asked the old woman to go to Aunt Jin's house to spread the news that Aunt Jin had stolen tobacco and alcohol from her employer. After being discovered, the incident of Huang Yao, the employer's daughter-in-law, was revealed. Keep it with me, and within 3 days, all the dogs on her street will know what she did. Yang Sisi, this is a deposit of 1 yuan. After the event is completed, I will pay the remaining half. The aunt happily accepted the engagement and confirmed, no problem, I promise to do everything beautifully. How will you give me the remaining money? Will it be given to Lao Lu or directly to me? Lao Lu was like that, a big brother who sells books. I'll give it to you directly, it's your fault, Yang Sisi said. It was already 5 o'clock when Yang Sisi returned to the courtyard after finishing her work. The parents-in-law should be on their way back now, right? They have to wait until they get home to steam rice, and cooking is also troublesome. She made a pot of pottery, mixed the noodles and put a circle of pot stickers around the pot. When the food is ready, people also get off work. Yang Sisi invited the two of them to eat. Qin Yanjun said, it's a big stew. Is it delicious? Mother of Qin, there are so many peppers, you won't have diarrhea after eating them, right? Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 362. Chapter 362, hit someone but don't slap them in the face. It just looks good with it. I don't think it's spicy at all. You can try it. Qin Yanjun moved his chopsticks, which was pretty good. Slightly spicy, but very appetizing. It's quite to my liking. The pancakes are also good. The vegetable soup is dipped underneath, so they go very well with rice. Qin's mother gave a thumbs up, my cooking skills are not bad. From now on, I will leave all the food for the family to you. Yang Sisi, Okay, it's okay to cook. I'm afraid I don't have time. You can go to this place next Wednesday to learn your driver's license. Qin Yanjun took out 2 envelopes, one was a letter of introduction for learning to drive, and the other was for her to go home. I will also give you the ticket to go back to my hometown. Once you've made the arrangements, just take your grandma for a ride, he warned. Don't forget to return to Beijing one day in advance to prepare for your driver's license. Yang Sisi was extremely happy. The matter of learning to drive a driver's license was finally implemented, but forgetting it was a worry. Thank you, Dad. You're welcome. Yang Sisi thought about it and said, there's something I have to tell you. Aunt Jian next door said that Aunt Jing came back at noon and didn't enter the house. I checked my room and found a lot of things. What do you want? Don't you want to look at yourself? Mother Qin didn't panic at all. I looked at her when I changed the lock and went out. She said she was beaten by you, and the remaining money was used as her own nutrition. There were no scars on her face, and she still wanted to rely on you. I was scolded. Yang Sisi is relieved, she doesn't slap people in the face now. Easily caught by others. Has been changed to attack the chest. Aunt Jing can't lift her clothes for others to see. After dinner, Sisi should consciously clear the table. Qin's mother was ready to help, so Yang Sisi said, Mom, there's not much to do. I'll do it myself. Qin's mother praised her for her diligence, unlike Lu Yuechun, who only picked up ready-made things. Yang Sisi didn't talk to her, subconsciously keeping a distance from her. She has already figured out her mother-in-law. The more she sticks to her, the more the other party will take care of her. If you ignore the other party's attitude will be better. After Qin's mother left, Yang Sisi finished her work and went back to her room. She found a pair of clean clothes and went into the bathroom to wash herself. After returning to the room, she sat in front of the dressing table and took care of her hands. When applying hand balm, the door was pushed open. Qin Yanxi appeared at the door with a tired look on his face. "Sisi, my whole body hurts." Yang Sisi said with concern, "Uncle Shen beat me up. I'll settle the score with him, even her biological father can still bully her. It's not a beating, it's just that I'm tired. Please give me a squeeze here and there." Wait a moment. Yang Sisi rubbed her hands, waited for the paste to be absorbed by the skin, and then massaged the designated area for him. "It's so hard, just stop practicing. Study hard. I think the most important thing is." Qin Yanxi, the prerequisite for learning is to have a strong body. "You're not in bad shape either," Yang Sisi said. "I am in good health, but my skills are not good enough to protect you," Qin Yanxi said. Yang Sisi was very moved. In order to protect her, he was willing to endure hardships. "I can protect myself. Not everyone is as irrational as Shen Ru and looks for someone to harm her." Two different things. Qin Yanxi was very stubborn. "I must learn it well." "It's up to you." Yang Sisi neither supports nor objects. Qin Yanxi hesitated and said, "How many do you think Uncle Shen can hit alone?" Yang Sisi was silent for a long time before she responded, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. "Can he beat 100 if he brags to you?" Qin Yanxi chuckled. He didn't say. His aunt at home said that when he was young, he could knock down a wild boar with one punch. This time, Sisi smiled. "Have you ever seen a wild boar? There must be no wild boars in the farm where he was. A wild boar weighs several hundred kilograms. Does it have any internal strength?" She had little education, but it was not like she had no common sense. In order to make her like him, the old lady used all the words she could to praise him, and she didn't mention anything about the wild boar. He only said that he was good at hunting and could walk through the poplar trees with 100 steps. "With him here, you don't have to worry about having no meat to eat." "I think I can." Qin Yanxi's trust in Shen Yuxian reached 100%. "Hiss, it hurts." You bear with me. Yang Sisi squeezed his thigh hard and even raised it. You. Qin Yanxi couldn't bear to say anything. Her hands were so strong. Yang Sisi was tired. Are you okay? Qin Yan said nothing. Yang Sisi took a look and fell asleep. Why do you sleep so well after practicing martial arts? Yang Sisi turned off the lights and rested, and arrived at the destination 5 minutes early the next day according to the time agreed on in the letter. After sitting down, I ordered some refreshments and looked around for someone who might be named Lu Xiaoxian. At this time, a girl in her early 20s walked up to her. She had long hair and a braid on one side. She had a beautiful appearance and her skin was neither white nor black. Excuse me, is your name Yang Sisi? The girl said. Yang Sisi's eyebrows moved slightly. Lu Xiaoxian. Exactly, you are so beautiful. Are you renting the house, or are you renting it for your family? Rent it yourself. Living alone, there is a private trading market near the cigarette factory, where there is a mix of good and bad, and the nearby residents often lack things. It is not safe for you as a girl to live there, Lu Xiaoxian said. That's why our family moved there. Yang Sisi's eyes lit up. Is there a trading market near the cigarette factory? Very good. She said, I live with my partner, so I'm not afraid if there are thieves. She can keep 2 wolf dogs to guard the door. You look younger than me, but you already have a partner. Have you never read a book? After Lu Xiaoxian finished speaking, she felt a little presumptuous and explained, I don't mean to look down on you. It's a pity. Like you, such a beautiful girl is worthy of marrying a high-ranking official if she is well educated. Yang Sisi smiled and said, You're right, girls can't imitate me. I don't agree with your last sentence. No matter how good the conditions are, men may not be reliable. We women are not meant to match men. It's okay to use this to coax the person you're talking about. It must not be taken as a creed. While she was living in the family home, she heard a lot of gossip. 9 out of 10 men will cheat on their wives after 7 or 8 years of marriage. There are 1 or 2 exceptions, either because they are not in good health, or they only focus on job promotion and do not care about romance. Her family's ACI, maybe the latter? Fortunately, she doesn't expect to be his only one. Money is more important. Because of money, I will never betray myself. Money can improve one's temperament and image. More reliable than men. Lu Xiaoxian smiled. Indeed, do you have time to take a look at my house now? Okay. Yang Sisi went out and got into the car. Lu Xiaoxian's eyes fell on her car. Your car is as beautiful as you. I've never seen your model in the car dealership. Where can I buy it? Sent by father-in-law. Your father-in-law is so kind. What does he do? How many people do you care about? Yang Sisi said. How do you leave? I'll take a ride. I'll give you a ride. Yang Sisi took the initiative to invite. Can you carry it? Yang Sisi nodded. That's my trouble. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 363. Chapter 363 Smart. On the way, Yang Sisi found out about Lu Xiaoxian's family situation through chatting. Grandma is still alive. Her parents work in a food factory, and they have 2 brothers. The eldest brother is already working and married, the second brother has just started working, and she is a student at a normal university, in her sophomore year. Lu Xiaoxian said, I have said so much, you should tell me yours, right? If you ask me at home later, it will be easier for me to deal with it. There's no need to tell you your home address, you already know it. Yang Sisi only revealed the basic demographic information of her husband's family. Where are your parents? Yang Sisi pursed her lips and said, "My mother died in childbirth when she gave birth to me." "I'm sorry." Lu Xiaoxian ended the topic. "It doesn't matter." The two of them didn't talk for a while after they arrived at their destination. Yang Sisi's eyes fell on the cigarette factory not far away. Lu Xiaoxuan's house was less than 100 meters away from the factory, and it was at an intersection, which was very convenient for her to do business. She pointed to the south with her little hand. "I posted the notice over there." "Your home is here, how could you see it?" "My classmates accidentally saw it that day. I went home and told my parents. They saw the address you wrote and said it was a family home of a public institution. They thought it was reliable and asked me to contact you." Lu Xiaoxian replied truthfully. Yang Sisi, that's it. By saying this, she took advantage of her husband's family. She glanced at the door. "Why are there so many holes in your door?" "We'll talk about this later." Lu Xiaoxian opened the door. "Although we moved out, we often come back to clean. The house is well maintained. There is a well in the yard, which is easy to use, and the open space can be used to grow vegetables. This is the kitchen house. Look at these two large pots. One is used to boil water to steam rice, steamed buns, and the other is used to stir-fry vegetables. You can make a cupboard when you move in, and you can pile firewood and coal here, which will be enough. There are 2 rooms in the main house, a living room and dining room, and an accommodation room. We have moved all the furniture inside." "Is there no toilet?" "The public toilets are most crowded around 7 o'clock in the morning. If you rent here, you have to go to the toilet in advance, and this place is too close to the cigarette factory unless there are thieves. People who deliver goods often come to ask for water. The holes on the door were there when we were not at home. Neighbors said they were smashed by people who couldn't borrow water. There were holes in the doors of several neighboring houses. My house was the most serious at the intersection." Yang Sisi secretly rejoiced that this place was simply tailor-made for her. She is very receptive. You can overcome the problem of not having a toilet. When she first moved into Song Hanmi's house, Song Hanmi disliked her for coming from the countryside. She often deliberately stayed in the bathroom and refused to let her use it. She only took a shower, washed clothes, and used the public restroom. "What do you think?" Lu Xiaoxian asked anxiously. "Not bad." Yang Sisi was very satisfied. "You are too honest. Tell me all this. You don't have to worry about thieves and door breaking. I will keep a dog to watch the door. You guys can't enter here after renting the house to me. It's a house. Because I'm married, I have to take my parents-in-law's feelings into consideration, so I won't live here every day, but I will be here every weekend. You can come here at this time to collect rent." Lu Xiaoxian simply agreed. "Okay. Do you want to rent now, or will we discuss it someday?" "Renting now." "Have you brought your household registration book and receipt?" Yang Sisi was very cautious. "Bring it with me." Lu Xiaoxian took out the household registration book and receipts from the bag she carried with her. Yang Sisi took it and checked it, specifically looking at the seal on the household registration book and the title corresponding to the name. Lu Xiaoxian said. "After studying again, I studied the words. The rent is paid every 3 months. The house is not allowed to be modified during the period of residence, and the yard can be used as desired." Lu Xiaoxian smiled and said, "You said you haven't read much, but you don't behave like it." In her impression, 9 out of 10 beautiful girls are stupid. The one in front of her is careful and prudent, showing shrewdness in every aspect. "Have you finished reading?" Yang Sisi thought it was okay and smiled. "I've finished reading." She signed and pressed her fingerprint and paid the rent. It was the first time that Lu Xiaoxian received such a large sum of money. Her hands were shaking with excitement and she handed over the key tremblingly. "If you change the lock, don't throw away the existing one. Give it to me next time we meet." "Good. If I have nothing else to do, I'll leave first." Lu Xiaoxian felt uneasy with the money and wanted to go home and put it away quickly. Yang Sisi locked the door and left. She was not in a hurry to go home, but wandered around the cigarette factory. Large trucks came and went at the door, pulling cigarettes one by one. Are cigarettes so easy to sell? She wanted to inquire, but the people selling goods were all men. They stared at her when she got close, which made her feel uncomfortable. Let's go. She turned around and left. I was caught up by a driver midway and started chatting with him. Girl, where are you going? Do you need me to give you a ride? Yang Sisi tilted her chin sideways. She was a young man in his 20s or 14s, with dark skin, small eyes, a big nose, and thin lips. The facial features are not beautiful, but the combination is quite harmonious. She said, "Didn't you see me riding a bicycle?" The sound of the car engine was too loud and the young man could not hear clearly. What did you say? Yang Sisi repeated it. The other party still didn't hear clearly, so he simply stopped the car. Yang Sisi's car didn't stop, so he called after her, "Girl, what did you just say?" Yang Sisi stopped slowly and took the trouble to repeat it again. The young man said, "There is a place behind my driver's seat, and your car can fit in it." Yang Sisi still responded slowly, "How can this be done? I don't know you." "Don't you know me now? My name is Li Ba. I am your mother." Yang Sisi walked away angrily. "Hey, why are you swearing?" Li Ba was angry and started the car to chase her. When a truck passes by, Yang Sisi feels even more stressed. "You are so pretty, why are you speaking so harshly? My surname is Li, and I am the 8th in the family." "What's wrong with you?" Li Ba repeated his name, as if he knew why he was scolded. "My surname is Li, and I am the 8th in the family." "8th? Li Ba, not your father?" Yang Sisi couldn't help but smile when she heard his thick accent. It turned out that she had misunderstood. She stopped the car again. The other party also stopped. "Did you hear that clearly?" "Well, I was sorry just now. Your ears are quite good. This car makes a loud noise and you can't hear anything when it drives. Are you a local girl? Have you said we're engaged?" Yang Sisi raised her head and said, "I don't even know you, so why am I telling you this? Where do you take this stuff? How much money can you make in one trip?" "In Sendai city next door, I work for the transportation team in that city. I get a fixed salary of 160 a month. Plus the bonus from the unit, I can get more than 200. Including the private work I usually do, it's 300. I will definitely support you." Enough. Li Ba was very confident when talking about his salary. He is the favorite among the older girls. How many matchmakers introduced him to people, but he didn't take any fancy to them. Yang Sisi already knew the monthly salary of drivers from her father-in-law. Drivers in Yanjing were higher than this, and she was no longer interested in the salary situation. She asked, "Is there any evidence?" Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 364. Chapter 364 Inexplicable Loss. Of course the man was eager to prove himself and took out a stack of receipts. Yang Sisi stretched out her hand. The other party looked at her white and slender fingers and swallowed. "This girl is so white and tender. She is fairer and tenderer than any girl he has ever seen. Absolutely beautiful." His mind went blank and he gave her all the documents. Yang Sisi read them one by one. Learn the price and quantity of the goods he purchased from it. She silently compared the prices of retail cigarettes in the store and was shocked. One cart of cigarettes has a profit of nearly 800 yuan. Half the money is earned in the factory, right? The profit is 300 to 400 per car. How many trips a day? She wants to open a factory. Open a big factory. Take a good look, the man said. Read it. Yang Sisi returned the receipt to him. Do you have 7 sisters above? Li Ba scratched his head, but he didn't say anything. How did you know? We also have a situation like yours in our village, with several sisters and one brother. If I go to your house and can't give birth to a son, then you are a sinner for the ages. I don't dare to get along with you. We are not suitable. Bye bye. Ying Sisi rode her bike and turned into the alley. Man, hey, if you can't give birth, you can continue to give birth. It will always happen with her likeness, he is willing to keep having children with her. Ying Sisi should speed up the riding speed. The secret passage. You can do it. If you think you are a local emperor, you will continue to give birth until you are able to give birth. Li Ba looked at the empty alley and cursed, you girl, you're wasting my feelings. Ying Sisi rode her bicycle to the old lady and mentioned that her father-in-law had invited her to dinner. I thought your parents-in-law knew my past identity and didn't want to see me. The old lady took out the clothes she had prepared earlier. Ying Sisi, am I so quick to talk? They don't know your past, and I won't tell them. The old lady was very secretive about the past. She learned about it from the conversations among the women in the village. She was young at that time and did not understand the ways of the world. Ask the old lady directly. The old lady cried at that time, and that was when she understood. A member of the women's association in the village got close to the old lady and tricked the old lady into talking about it, and this matter was publicized. In the following decades, men, women, and children in the village would all talk about the old lady, as if the old lady had done something heinous. Those people obviously have no morals themselves, but they demand the highest moral standards from others. Finally, she came to a conclusion. It is because they are jealous of the old lady. The women are jealous of the old lady's good looks, while the men say the grapes are sour because they can't eat them. I thought your in-laws knew. Ying Sisi, only I knows who I like, so I told him that he always praised you. Is there anyone who likes to talk about it without being ashamed? The old lady said angrily. Ying Sisi smiled. After waiting for the old lady to change clothes and lock the door, the two of them set off to the courtyard. When entering the door, the old lady looked around. Your husband's house looks quite old. Their family's ancestral house, the previous ones have been renovated. The ancestral home was not confiscated. Ying Sisi, well, their family has some foundation in Yanjing, and they are on the right track. The old lady nodded appreciatively, looking around. Didn't you say there is an ant at home? Don't mention it. Ying Sisi bagua Aunt Jin's words and deeds. The old lady smiled and bent down, and said without hesitation, by the way, did you have any banquet speeches? Ying Sisi was embarrassed and annoyed. No way, I'm almost mad, and you still laugh at me. The old lady suppressed her laughter. I'm not laughing. She followed Ying Sisi to observe the house and said, this house should be renovated. It was originally estimated to be a big house with 3 entrances and 3 exits. How do you know? There used to be a separate house and courtyard next to the house where ACI and I lived. ACI said that it was the residence of the unmarried women in the family. Later, the beams became crooked, and the family was afraid that they would collapse. Demolish it together. Leave this open space to grow vegetables or something. I've seen it before. The old lady entered Ying Sisi's room. Your house is well done. Your parents-in-law really treat you well. No matter where you live, they will prepare the best for you. I'm not bad to them either. Ying Sisi thought she was very qualified to be a daughter-in-law. No matter how much they asked her, she hardly denied them. The old lady smiled lovingly and said, the Qin family favored you because of our ancestors' good deeds. The Sisi in her dream was an extraordinary figure. The banquet speech was high. Now, on the surface, it seems that Sisi has benefited from the Qin family, but in fact, it is the Qin family that has benefited from Sisi. Either way, Yan Xi's nervous personality would make him unpopular everywhere. With Sisi's advice from the side, he would have to avoid many detours. After seeing the house, the old lady arranged for Sisi to rest in the guest bedroom. He went to the kitchen to prepare meals. Just after choosing a handful of vegetables, the old lady appeared. It's a strange place and you can't rest peacefully. Let me help you. You are a guest. Why are you so polite to me? The old lady was very grateful. She had been prepared to die alone in her early years. With SISI, she could make money every day. The two of them worked together to cook a table of meals, turned on the TV and waited for Father Chin and Mother Chin to get off work. After watching for less than 5 minutes, the two of them walked in front and back. Yang Sisi stood up and introduced her parents-in-law. Father Chin and Mother Chin greeted him warmly. "Hello, Aunt." Chin's mother said, "You are different from what I imagined." She leaned closer to talk, but she didn't smell like an old man. He is neatly dressed and his hair is combed meticulously. Old lady, you imagine I'm very sloppy, right? Usually at her age, she neglects to dress herself up. The reason why she keeps it clean and tidy every day is because she is afraid that one day she will fall asleep and no one will clean it for her. Chin's mother hurriedly denied, "No, no. Chin Yanjun, Sisi said you were leaving, why don't you spend more time?" "I'm not used to the weather in the north." The old lady felt that her skin had become a lot rougher after coming to Yanjing. Although she is old, she still loves beauty. "It's better than the south. The people there are all black," Chin's mother said. The old lady, "Isn't Sisi white?" "I'm not dark either, am I? The reason why there are so many dark people among them is entirely because they work outside in the sun all year round. Those who don't farm in the city," she feels, "are different from those in Yanjing. Almost the same number of people. It's just that the people there are poor and seem less confident than the people here." SISI. Before Chin's mother could finish her words, she was interrupted by Chin's father. "It's time to eat. The food will be cool in a while." Chin Yanjun greeted everyone to eat. "Old lady, I won't wait for the banquet." Only then did Chin Yanjun realize that Chin Yansi was missing. "Sisi, where is the banquet? Didn't you tell him to go home early today?" "Yang Sisi, I forgot." She can't be blamed for this. They could not say more than a few words before he fell asleep. It's early to go out in the morning. Their schedules are now completely separated. She felt inexplicably disappointed when she saw the message this morning. She scolded herself for this. His current state is not exactly what he originally wanted. But when he really couldn't care about her, she felt uncomfortable. Please vote. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 365. Chapter 365, Neglect. Old lady, it's not a problem. It's not like I haven't seen him before. He's busy with his business. Chin Yanjun greeted, "Let's eat first and treat this as our own home." "You're welcome." After a meal, Yang Sisi chatted with the old lady. When it was approaching 8 o'clock, Chin Yansi knocked on the door from outside. "Sisi, I'm back. The door is unlocked, just come in." Chin Yansi opened the door, stepped into the room, and greeted the old lady politely. "Good evening, Grandma. I heard from my father that you are leaving Yanjing this Friday. I have something to delay you today, so I'm rude." The old lady stared at him strangely. "Once you wear glasses, not only your temperament becomes more refined, but your speech becomes more refined as well. Yansi, I must have read a lot of books recently." Chin Yansi reacted and smiled lightly. "I learned a lot. If not, he wouldn't have followed that bastard's path." The old lady looked back and said with a smile, "When are you going to go to university? I haven't seen what a university is like. If you have time, you can take me around." Personally, when she was young, college students wore uniforms. Men wear tunic suits and have a straight posture. The woman is wearing a button top and a navy blue skirt, pure and beautiful. The girls in the building are so envious. "It will be ready tomorrow. Didn't you say that you have to practice martial arts with Uncle Shen recently?" Yang Sisi said. Qin Yanci, he has a meeting tomorrow morning. He gave me half a day off. I have been with my grandma. Can you train with me? Shen Yushin's training intensity is scary. He thinks he has enough energy. But within 3 days, he couldn't bear it anymore. With his wife, he should be more restrained when giving orders to him. Yang Sisi, you are not a child, why do you want me to accompany you? You can rest at home during the holidays, and I will accompany grandma. I heard that people from society can also enter university, as long as they bring their identity certificate and do just register. This is what she learned from Lu Xiaoxian today. The other party also said that the subsidies for teachers' colleges are the largest among all universities. After 4 years of studying, you can save 1 to 2,000 yuan. Qin Yanci, I'm alone at home. When he came back this time, he didn't get along well with her. The old lady's eyes flickered between the two of them. One had a disappointed tone, while the other lowered his eyes and didn't know what he was thinking. At first glance, it seems that there is something fishy about her sister. She will not get involved in the affairs of the young couple. "Sisi, it's getting late," the old lady meant, "you should go." Yang Sisi understood what he was saying, said goodbye to her, and went out first. Qin Yanci followed closely, then walked side by side with Yang Sisi and turned through a door. He put his arm around Yang Sisi's shoulders. "Sisi, can you help me rub my back when I turn around? My back hurts today too." "Can." As soon as the sound fell, Yang Sisi was pressed with a kiss on the face, a touch of dragonfly on the water, which made her tremble in surprise. "You?" Qin Yanci calmly interrupted, "What, can't I kiss you?" "Yang Sisi, it's not good to be seen by parents. We are husband and wife, what are we afraid of?" Yang Sisi bowed her head slightly, "You are not the one marrying me. Anyway, you can't do it outside. It's okay in the house." Yang Sisi, she shrugged her shoulders to the left and right, shook off his arms, and strode towards the bedroom. "Ignore you, you deliberately found a loophole for me to tell you. Are you angry?" Qin Yanci thought that she lost her temper on purpose in order to snub him. He was going to tell her today that he was the one who agreed to the engagement. That never read letters from his parents. Even if he received them, he would just throw them away. In the 10 years since I was in Northwest China, he has read and answered all the letters sent by his parents. At the beginning, his father wrote a letter telling him that he would be engaged in a marriage. Ask him if he has a girl he likes. He replied that everything was decided by his parents and the matchmaker. After a few months, there was no news about this matter. He thought the marriage was over, but little did he know that they had already met the girl behind his back. No, Yang Sisi denied. Qin Yanci stared at her. "Okay, you didn't." "I didn't take a shower when I came back today, so help me get some clothes." "Remember, I want dark clothes." He turned and went to the bathroom. Yang Sisi loudly said, "You have no hands yourself. You have changed. Before, you even squeezed toothpaste for me, but now you are not even willing to take clothes." Qin Yanci looked sad. Yang Sisi couldn't bear it anymore. "Give him some clothes to wear his hands down or what?" I'll take it, alas, I lost to him." She went back to her room to get clothes. "I found a pile of letters under my clothes. The sender was my father-in-law. When was the letter put in? Did he show it to her on purpose? What is written? Their secrets? What should I do if she wants to see it?" She gave the clothes to Qin Yanci. Qin Yanci took it and said, "Sisi, do you want to wash it together? I'll rub your back." "Rub your head, I've washed it." Yang Sisi returned to the room and read the letter. Most of them were greetings, and between the lines, they all revealed their guilt towards him. One of them she felt was written specifically for her. The father-in-law told him that he was going to arrange a marriage for him and asked him if he had anyone he liked. If so, he would get married on his own initiative. So, it was a CI who agreed to be engaged to her. It turned out that a CI really didn't know about the engagement. She always thought that he was not good at expressing himself. In addition, it was the first time they met, so he was uncomfortable and indifferent. Ah! Whose daughter-in-law is she? At this time, the sound of slight footsteps came to my ears. She collected the letters and sat by the window pretending to read. After a creaking sound, Qin Yancy walked in. "Si, what book are you reading again?" The Legend of the Condor Heroes is the most popular novel on the bookstall right now. The stall owner said you have to be careful when reading this, as you will be criticized if you are caught. Have you read it? Qin Yancy: I read it 5 years ago. It was only after reading this novel that he felt there was no need to pay too much attention to a woman's chastity. Which of the characters in the book do you like best? Li Ma Chu Ying Sisi said without hesitation. The evil side. I thought you would choose Xiao Longnu or Yangguo. She was not like this at the beginning. I thought she was very pitiful. She had no father or mother. The elders around her could not provide any help except teaching her how to survive and emotionally, and gave bad men the opportunity to hurt her. That man's death would not be a pity. He is the chief culprit of everything that follows. If it weren't for his deception, Li Ma Chu would have stayed in the ancient tomb with his master to learn martial arts. Even if he couldn't inherit his master's mantle, he would have become the most powerful person in the world. This story tells girls that taking men too seriously will destroy themselves. Qin Yancy actually feels that it makes some sense. Do you believe it? Si, give me a massage, okay. You lie down. Qin Yancy immediately obeyed the order. Ying Sisi pinched it twice and remembered that Aunt Sun from the family hospital once said that stepping on the back can not only relieve fatigue, but also relax the collaterals, activate blood circulation, regulate qi, and unblock the collaterals. Have you ever heard of backstepping? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 366. Chapter 366. Falling into the trap. I've never heard of it. How can I step on it? Ying Sisi said briefly. Qin Yancy got up in fright. Don't do this. She squeezed hard, and half an hour later, the pinched area still hurt slightly. If she stepped on it, it would probably hurt until tomorrow. Ying Sisi, why are you so nervous? I just won't step on it. Hearing this, Qin Yancy lay down again. Ying Sisi clenched his fist and punched it gently. Is this strength okay? A little more emphasis. That's it. I feel comfortable now. I beg you, please stop being nice. If someone hears you, you will get misunderstood. Ying Sisi was angry and annoyed with him, and there was nothing she could do about him. This is a sound made involuntarily, just like you. Qin Yancy was halfway through her words when she glared at her and shut her mouth. Ying Sisi pressed the button for a while. When she was tired, she stretched her head to look at him. He was not asleep yet. Aren't you sleepy today? Sleepy, but don't want to sleep. Qin Yancy said. Si, I want to tell you a story. Ying Sisi thought he was going to tell the truth, so she listened carefully and solemnly. You said it. She had been waiting for one of them to confess. Qin Yancy, during the Qingming festival, the shores of the West Lake are red with flowers and willows, and tourists are flocking on the broken bridge. It is really a beautiful picture of bright spring. Suddenly, from the bottom of the West Lake, Ying Sisi decisively turned off the lights and pulled the quilt over her head. The legend of White Snake, she had heard it from Grandma since she was a child. Qin Yancy took advantage of the situation and put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. Turn off the lights and listen to the atmosphere for a better atmosphere. Ying Sisi realized later that he had fallen into the trap. He did it on purpose. he was sure that she would be impatient to turn off the lights and take this opportunity to take advantage of her. Who is he? I won't listen. Then go to sleep. Chen Yancy didn't want to talk much. The training during the day had consumed a lot of his energy and physical strength, and he really couldn't muster up the energy to talk nonsense. Yang Cixi tried to break free, but was hugged tightly by him. She said that his legs were very sore. If she exerted all her strength, would it be enough to make him feel the pain? She stayed still and closed her eyes to rest. Yang Cixi got up early the next day, accompanied the old lady to have breakfast, and set out to visit the university. A gust of wind blew by on the road. The old lady smelled the fragrant flowers on her head and suddenly remembered her dream last night. This time the dream changed. Sci gave birth to a child at the age of 21, and the gender of the child was also changed. She was a daughter. Same white skin as Sci. The facial features follow the best-looking high nose bridge. She doesn't look much like Sci, but her mouth is just as sweet and pretty. She said, Sci, I dreamed that you would give birth to a girl in the summer. Yang Cixi smiled, isn't this summer? Next summer, my dream is too real. When you give birth, you will be like your mother. You will fall and hurt your body, and you will not be able to give birth in the future. When the old lady thought of that dream, her heart beat suddenly. You have to be careful. Yang Cixi was extremely confused. What if the dream between Li Yue and the old lady happened in the previous generation? Could this dream be a matter of this generation? How come she hasn't had a similar dream? She was about to agree. The old lady said, when you have it, remember to write to me and I will come and take care of you. Although she is old, but it does not delay work. It is more than enough to serve a pregnant woman. Yang Cixi wished that the old lady was by her side. When she was depressed, she could talk to the old lady about things that she couldn't say to Chen Yancy, and she would have an emotional support. Okay. Let's go shopping around the university later and buy 2 pairs of thinner clothes. You can wear short-sleeved shirts in the 5th month in the south. The weather in Yanjing was colder, but there were already summer clothes in the mall, which was convenient for her to prepare. It's up to you, the old lady said. Half an hour later, Yang Cixi drove the old lady to the gate of the university. Grandma, please wait for me here first, I will register. Yang Cixi completed registration and took the old lady to ride along the boulevard. There are people coming and going on campus. There were very few people riding bicycles. The old lady whispered, Cixi, we are riding here and carrying people. It will have a bad influence. Look, they are all looking at us. I said before that Yanqing University is a huge place. You can't see the end of this road at a glance. If you don't ride a bike, how can you finish the tour? Others can just look at it. They are all students, not hooligans. Yang Cixi rode her bicycle, not daring to look around, and looked around with her peripheral vision. As far as the eye can see, people are holding books in their hands. Under the shade of a tree, on a bench. There are college students studying everywhere. These people are so hard-working. Yang Cixi began to worry about Chen Yancy's future. So many proud men compete with him. How could he win? Grandma, what do you think these students will do in the future? I want to be a big leader, the old lady said with emotion. It's different from the college students in my impression. She told Yang Cixi about the image of college students she had seen. College students all wear school uniforms. With sharp eyes, Yang Cixi pointed out, well, isn't that the school uniform? It has the school badge printed on the arm, so maybe everyone doesn't like to wear it. The old lady squinted her eyes and said, where is it? I told you to wear reading glasses when you go out, but you must not wear them. Wearing glasses affects your appearance. Yang Cixi, who taught her not to care about appearance all day long? Yang Cixi took the old lady around all morning before finishing the school tour. The two of them ordered 2 small wontons from a nearby restaurant and discussed what they had seen and heard in school while eating. At the end, the old lady said regretfully, "If you were born into the Shen family, you would be able to enter this university. I don't want to be in the Shen family, otherwise I won't know you." The old lady smiled with a smile on her face. "You know how to coax me, I told you, if you have something nice to say, save it for the banquet." Ying Sisi was troubled and asked in a low voice, "Grandma, if you were me and there were 2 equally good men who liked you, how would you choose?" The old lady followed her example and whispered, "Didn't I give you the answer a long time ago? I want it all, and I don't want it for free. Let me tell you, you are a person who wants to do great things, so don't have a strong sense of morality. The main thing is that one is informal. If you are both good, it means that you can help yourself. The other one remembers to be sneaky and don't get caught in the banquet." Ying Sisi, who is this person? The two of them finished eating the wontons and left the restaurant and went straight to the mall. Ying Sisi bought a pair of regular clothes and a light-colored skirt. Started to choose for the old lady. "Grandma, this material is called Chui Liang. It's new and popular. I'll buy you two." The old lady didn't want to show off. Although she didn't walk around with others in the village, she would occasionally go to the market. She was dressed too well. When she met villagers on the road, she would be jealous and criticized, so she didn't want to get into trouble. "Don't buy them for me. I have clothes to wear. You buy two for the banquet. I saw that the college students in school today are wearing good clothes. You buy them in good styles." Ying Sisi refused. "I won't buy this one today. Wouldn't it make a fuss when you see that one when you come back? Let them buy it themselves. Please vote." Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 367. Chapter 367. The next trick. The old lady curled her lips and said, "You don't listen to advice, I'm too lazy to tell you." Ying Sisi patted her arm. "This skirt is good. The fabric looks thick but is comfortable to touch. The color is suitable for your age. Can you try it?" The old lady glanced at her and saw that the half-length long skirt was visible. If she were 20 years younger, she would definitely wear it. Is there any old lady in her 60s wearing a skirt on the street? "Sisi, let's go back. After visiting the school, we are exhausted. You are still young." The little girl rode for a long time, and the back seat carried nearly 90 kilograms of her weight. She did not blush or breath. He led her around energetically. Okay. Ying Sisi walked out with the old lady and stopped by the counter selling fabrics. "Grandma, the fabric here is quite nice. Let's take a look and buy it if it suits you. You can make it yourself." "Okay." Ying Sisi stepped forward and picked up the fabric and put it on the old lady's body. She chose a dark color that was most suitable for the elderly. After asking about the price, she paid the price readily. The old lady looked on with a smile. Her family is so filial. "I said I didn't want it, but I still bought it." She must have done a lot of good things in her previous life to meet them. "Get out of the mall." Ying Sisi sent the old lady home directly. Before leaving, he warned, "Grandma, I will pick you up tomorrow afternoon to live in the courtyard. We will take a ride to the train station the next morning. You can take advantage of this time to get ready. Hey, I know I'll put the food your father gave me here, don't throw it away." Ying Sisi nodded. She would not throw away his things. She said goodbye to the old lady and left. While riding through the city, I heard a loud noise. Unprepared, she trembled and stopped. Before she could react, there were a few more bangs. A commotion followed. She listened breathlessly. Identify the source of the sound, which is a nearby shopping mall. Someone robbed a gold shop. The loud noise is the desperado firing a gun. The sound is not the same as in the movie. It is actually more shocking. She prides herself on being bold, and she can't help but feel fear at this moment. Hurry and take another road that she thinks is safe. After riding for more than 10 minutes, I found myself near Shen Yuxian's home. Hand could not help but look in the direction of his house. At this moment, Shen Yuxian happened to be standing on the second floor and looked out from the distance, and at a glance he spotted Ying Sisi, wearing a simple red thin coat, pants of the same color, and white sneakers. Hair is tied alone at the back of the head. Refreshing and neat. One person per cart, with the person straddling the cart with one foot on the ground. Alone, pitiful and lovely. He immediately ran downstairs and past the training room. He said, "Let's take a break for the banquet." If his daughter followed him back and saw how hard the banquet was, wouldn't it feel bad? What should you do if you are angry and ignore him? It was rare for her to take the initiative to find him, so she must not offend him. Qin Yanxi felt strange that Shen Yuxian would never take the initiative to ask him to rest. Unless he applies. If Shen Yuxian is not at home, ask the ant downstairs to watch him. If he wants to rest, the ant will call for instructions. At home, Shen Yuxian would look at him sideways and say, "Why are you so weak? How it was when I was young." You are allowed to take a 5-minute break. In these 5 minutes, Shen Yuxian can still count the seconds. Is Sisi coming? It must be Sisi. Otherwise, Shen Yuxian would not be so panicked. He refuses to rest. Let Sisi see how her father tortures people. He also took this opportunity to set a trap for the who deceived him. Ying Sisi continued to walk forward on her bicycle, and she was close to the door of Shen Yuxian's house. The door of Shen's house opened from the inside, and Shen Yuxian came out, with joy in her eyes. "Sisi, are you here to see me?" Ying Sisi was a little caught off guard. If he talked about the evacuation process, when he talked to a CI, what did a CI think? "Let me see a CI. I'll take you there right now." Shen Yuxian pressed the middle of the handle of her car. Ying Sisi got down from the car. Shen Yuxian took control of the car and glanced at the basket. "What did you buy?" Ying Sisi, "Clothes. I'll buy it for you next time." Ying Sisi, "I may not like what you buy. It will be wasted if you leave it without wearing it. I'll take you to try it out. After you try it out, buy it." Shen Yuxian was very attentive. He put the car away and took her into the house, calling his aunt to prepare some fruits for tea. "Sisi, do you want to eat here tonight? I'll ask Auntie to cook what you like." "You don't know my preferences." "I know, your father-in-law said it." Shen Yuxian had already begun to tell his aunt to make preparations. Ying Sisi's words of rejection clicked her throat. "Okay, where is ACI?" "Upstairs." Shen Yuxian called Qin Yanxi loudly. Qin Yanxi heard the sound and walked out of the room. "Sisi, aren't you unable to say it?" It seems that she still has a place for him in her heart. When Ying Sisi saw him, he was wearing trousers and a vest, showing the lines on his arms. She was too embarrassed to look at it, lowered her eyes and said, "Why is your face so red? Your clothes are soaked with sweat. It seems like it's really not easy to practice martial arts. Why don't you stop learning and go back to holding the pen? I went to your school today. Everyone there is studying. The library is also full of people. After a few months, your limbs will be developed and your brain will be simple. What should you do?" Qin Yanxi said with a smile on his lips, "I know how to study well." Ying Sisi said assuredly, "That's good." It was inconvenient to talk while standing on the stairs, so she said, "Let's go out and talk." Qin Yanxi looked at Shen Yuxian. "Uncle Shen, can I go out?" Shen Yuxian was suddenly called. "Hey, that's okay." After he answered, he realized something was wrong. Except for training, he was stricter about it. When had he ever done so before? "Even when I go out, I have to ask him for permission. Make it clear that it is for his daughter to see." This boy. He would rather listen to what he would say to his daughter when he went out. If you dare to say bad things about him, he won't beat him to death. Yang Sisi and Qin Yancy walked to the yard and stopped. Qin Yancy couldn't wait to ask, "Did you come here specifically to see me?" Yang Sisi nodded, "Well, when did you come here?" 2 hours ago. Qin Yancy had been punching the sandbag for 2 hours. His arms were sore and he rubbed his right wrist with his left hand. He is tall and has long limbs. Her arms were naked, and the impact on her was considerable. She turned around calmly, "Does your wrist hurt?" "It doesn't hurt." "Yang Sisi, then you still rub it? Is it uncomfortable?" "It's true, Uncle Shen, you are not his subordinate, why are you training you like this? You also said to compensate me, but even I can't do it, so how can you compensate me, liar?" Shen Yushin in the room was unconvinced. He trained Qin Yancy, wasn't it because Qin Yancy was too weak? He was saying good words for Qin's banquet. She is his only daughter. Apart from Xian, she is the most important person in his life. How can you not love Wu? Sisi, don't say that, Uncle Shen regards me as one of his own, otherwise why would he spare the time to teach me? Then I can't train you like this, right? Yang Sisi said dissatisfied. Qin Yancy is a person who has done farm work. He can endure the hard work. After just a few days of training, when I got home and fell asleep, I felt pain here or there. I must tell Uncle Shen that I can't train you like this. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 368. Chapter 368 Satisfaction. You'd better stop talking. He is your father after all. It's disrespectful for the younger generation to teach the elders a lesson. Yang Sisi laughed, he knew it was disrespectful. When he was quarreling with his parents-in-law, he was not ambiguous at all. "Okay, I'll listen to you." She was reluctant to make demands to Shen Yushin. After all, she didn't recognize him and it was always his unilateral contribution. She couldn't rely on his guilt for her to get something cheap and be good. When Shen Yushin overheard this, the anger in his heart dissipated. "For the sake of your kid speaking for me, I will spare you. The training in the next few days will be a little more relaxed. Lest my daughter be dissatisfied again." At this time, Qin Yan said, "Sisi, do you want to come into the house? It's not good to keep your father hanging around." According to Sisi's agreement, she and Qin Yancy returned to the room. Shen Yushin also advanced and returned to his original position to sit down. He picked up the apples and bananas peeled by his aunt on the coffee table and presented them to Yang Sisi. "Sisi, here they are." Yang Sisi looked at him, stretched out her hand to take it, ate it with a spoon, and finished one piece. "Don't you have ACI?" "Of course, Auntie, why did you only prepare one portion?" Shen Yushin asked. "Auntie, didn't you say you would prepare one?" "Forgot, I'll get it right now." "Sisi, the banquet said that you and Aunt Zhu will go back to your hometown on Friday. Is it okay to come back alone?" "What's not possible? Let the banquet accompany you," Shen Yushin said. Yang Sisi estimated that the day she left with the old lady would be when ACI came back. The person in front of her felt very uncomfortable before she left last time. What should I do if something happens on the road? He stays at home and can seek help if he feels unwell. Following her, he was unsure how to endure it in order to hide. It is not good for him. She said, it's a waste of his time. It's not like I can't find my way back. There are many bad people on the road, but I am free. Shen Yushin hinted that he could accompany her. Yang Sisi, where did the bad guys come from in the sleeper berth? People who can buy sleeper berth tickets are all of high status. Who dares to do bad things? What is messy is the hard seat. She and Li Junlu entered Beijing on hard seats. There was everyone in the car. Thieves are prevalent. The environment is also bad, and the carriage is full of smelly feet. Shen Yuxian choked up, pay attention to safety. Ying Sisi finished a plate of fruit amidst Shen Yuxian's nagging. Do you still want to eat? Shen Yuxian said. Don't eat, I'm full. Shen Yuxian said to Qin Yanci, it's time for you to continue the banquet, right? Hey, Qin Yanci calmed down and gained energy and physical strength. Si, are you watching me exercise? Okay. Ying Sisi followed him upstairs. Shen Yuxian walked behind, cursing in his heart, you idiot, his daughter has to watch the training. Why didn't you notice before that you are so pretentious? Because Ying Sisi is there. Shen Yuxian calmed down a lot and asked Qin Yanci to rest from time to time. Banquet speech, rest. Don't be in a hurry. Hey, Qin Yanci stopped moving, walked to the window and stood next to Ying Sisi. Ying Sisi thought to herself, the training intensity is not very high. She keeps complaining about waist and back pain all day long, which is useless. She gave him a slap in the face. Qin Yanci smiled even more. Sisi knew his training routine. In the next 20 days, no matter how hard that complained about being tired, Sisi would not believe it. As for Shen Yuxian, if he calms down, his opinion of him will become bigger. While Sisi is away, I don't know how to deal with him. At this time, the aunt knocked on the door. Boss, the company is looking for your phone number. Come here. Shen Yuxian went downstairs to answer the phone. After returning, he said to Sisi, Sisi, there is something urgent in my unit that I need to handle. If you come back late, you and Yanci will eat first without waiting for me. He informed and left. Ying Sisi suddenly remembered that his unit was on the road where the gun battle took place today. Those people ran and hid somewhere. The most dangerous places are the safest. They may still be in the downtown area. He has a car. Driving on the road, be unique. If those people running away bump into his car and take a fancy to his car, will they wait for an opportunity to hijack the car and use it as a tool to escape? Thinking of this, she chased after him. Etc. Shen Yuxian just put his hand on the car door and stopped when he heard the words, what's wrong? Ying Sisi hesitated, can you please stop driving this car and ride a bicycle? Didn't you have surgery? Don't you usually exercise? Cycling is good for your health. There are many people riding bicycles on the road, so even if they try to grab them, they will grab them. Not him. Shen Yuxian smiled. This was the first time he heard that riding a bicycle is good for your health, so why not walk? But whatever she said was what she said. Okay. Be careful, the road is not smooth, Ying Sisi reminded. Shen Yuxian couldn't figure out her intention, but he still wrote down her words. The concern from my daughter is not something I often get. Ying Sisi stayed at Shen's house until dark, but Shen Yuxian didn't come back. Auntie urged the two of them to eat. Ying Sisi took a few bites and then put it down. Qin Yanci had a good appetite and finished 2 large bowls of rice. Sisi, why don't you eat? Ying Sisi, I don't really want to eat it. Auntie said, is it not to your liking? I'll cook you 2 new dishes. The owner's only meow meow cannot be neglected. No, Auntie, don't bother. The food tastes good, but I don't have much appetite. I'll eat some apples to get over it. Ying Sisi picked up the apple and ate it. She just took a bite when she heard the door ring. After a while, Shen Yutian enters the house. Seeing that the two of them are still there. More than surprised, it's more of a surprise. His daughter was waiting for him at home. Sisi, why are you eating at this hour? Auntie said quickly, waiting for you. Sisi can't see you and has no appetite. Ying Sisi, Shen Yuxian glanced at the rice in Ying Sisi's bowl, which was almost untouched. Are you worried about him? He did encounter some problems on his walk today. There were 3 gunmen carrying bags and attacking passers-by indiscriminately. Fortunately he rides a bicycle. If he is driving, when the engine sounds and the windows are open, no matter how good his hearing is, he will not be able to distinguish what is going on outside. Subconsciously, I would think that the cannon was fired somewhere. When you get closer to those people, it will be too late to discover them. Even if you avoid it in time, you will avoid getting hurt. The car will also be damaged, and by the time he gets rid of them, it will be too late to find anyone. It is much more convenient to ride a bicycle. When encountering a situation, he quickly meets up with the nearby patrol team. Cooperating with each other to cover, they faced off against the 3 men for a long time before catching them. It took me some time to get back to the unit, so it was late. It is said that the 3 men vandalized and looted near the city in the afternoon and misled everyone into chasing them into the mountains on the outskirts. In fact, people are still in urban areas. Have you met SISI during the day? Or why remind him to be careful? You also specifically told him not to drive? Thinking that his daughter was thinking about everything for him, he felt extremely satisfied. SISI, it's getting late. Do you want to stay here at night? There is a room for you at home. My parents-in-law will be worried if I come home too late, Yang Sisi said. Shen Yushan, I'll call them. I have to go back, Yang Sisi insisted. Shall I send you off? Yang Sisi refused. No need. Shen Yushan had no choice but to follow her. Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 369. Chapter 369 Frankness. The night is getting darker. Shen Yushan reluctantly saw Sisi out and carefully asked her when she would come back. Yang Sisi did not give a direct answer. When Shen Yushan saw this, he did not force himself and changed the subject. The road is peaceful, you can walk with confidence. Yang Sisi was surprised. Did he know about the gangsters? And it was solved. This matter is not his business, right? Maybe he heard about it from others after he returned to work. I thought of what I said again, so I paid special attention to this matter. If you know those people were caught, tell her by the way. Thinking of this, she said, oh. Qin Yanxi's eyes wandered between father and daughter. What are you communicating about? Why can't he understand? You go back, I'm leaving. Yang Sisi got on the bicycle and took the first step. Qin Yanxi caught up with him and said, Sisi, do you understand what Uncle Shen said about peace on the road? Yang Sisi said, it's like this. On my way to find you today, I almost encountered a robber head-on. Fortunately, I have good hearing and sensed this incident, so I chose another route to find you. Qin Yan's speech was very moving. When someone was robbed, she still insisted on visiting him. It seems that she is sincere to herself. His smile was like a spring breeze. You treat me so well. I'm not very tired today. Can we do it? His tone was slightly ambiguous. Yang Sisi said in confusion, what can I do? The two of them were passing by the mall at this time, and under the dim street lights, Yang Sisi saw dots of blood on the ground. Qin Yanxi also saw it. Someone must have been injured here today, maybe someone lost his life. Sisi, are you afraid? The most frightened person threw away his bicycle and ran into his arms. What are you afraid of? I've seen all the soaked corpses in the water. Yang Sisi had already walked out of the shadow of the corpse fished out from the lake. He even commented, there are so many fish in the river, why don't you bite that bag? Qin Yanxi, how long has it been since the incident? She suddenly overcame her psychological barrier. My heart is not generally strong. Yang Sisi continued, I don't know if the person who was murdered has ever been vindicated. Qin Yanxi, I also saw a reward notice posted by the police today. If you provide valuable clues, you will be rewarded 50 yuan. So many? Where did you find it? I will go get clues tomorrow, Yang Sisi said half-truthfully. Qin Yanxi chuckled and said, Money fan. He told her the detailed location of the announcement. If you really win the prize, remember to share half of it with me. Just wait. Yang Sisi increased her writing speed. She wanted to make money without exerting any effort. It was beautiful. Yang Sisi and Qin Yanxi turned into the main alley where the courtyard house is located. The former saw two figures standing at the gate from a distance. Get closer. Qin's mother said loudly, I'm back. I'm back. She waited for the two of them to arrive and said in a relaxed tone, I've waited for you. Why are you going so late? A big event happened in the city today. Qin Yanxi, didn't you know that I went to Shen's house? Can't you just call and ask? My mind is blank, how can I think of anything else? Qin Yanjun looked unhappy. Next time you come home late, remember to call to report that you are safe. Yang Sisi agreed. Qin Yanjun said, this is just right. Or is the girl's family obedient and well behaved? How nice would it be if he had a daughter like this? Neither of the two sons is good. Yang Sisi went back to her room to pack her clothes and go to the bathroom to wash up. Just as she took off her clothes, there was a knock on the door outside. Sisi, can I come in? No, Yang Si refused decisively. Let him in. Can he still take this bath? Qin Yanxi was very patient. Why not? We are husband and wife, and we should be honest with each other. It's not okay for husband and wife. You should leave as soon as possible. If you offend me, I'll beat you without any discussion, Yang Sisi said harshly. Qin Yanxi rubbed his nose and smiled, are you willing to do it? Yang Sisi was really reluctant to beat him, and wasn't sure if she could beat him. She scooped water from the bucket and poured it out. Qin Yanxi was unprepared and was drenched in water. Knowing that she was angry, he quickly got out of the way. Move to the side room and hide. About a quarter of an hour later, Yang Sisi appeared. Wearing a white skirt that reaches to her ankles. The sleeves cover half of the palms. Hair was wrapped in a towel, exposing her fair and slender neck. His SISI is so pretty. Why are you hiding here? I've finished washing, it's your turn, Yang Sisi said. Qin Yan said, no matter how clean it is, it doesn't matter if you are not next to me. If you don't wash it, you'll fall down. Yang Sisi turned around and walked away. Qin Yanxi stretched out his hand to grab the void, but he couldn't take any advantage. Yang Sisi went back to her room, dried her hair and went to sleep. The next day I was cleaning the yard and tidying up the room at home. I was busy until the afternoon before setting off to pick up the old lady. The old lady has packed it up. There was a sack on the ground, filled to the brim. There is a bulging satchel on the bed. Grandma, why do you have so many things? When I came, I only had a backpack. The gifts given by Uncle Shen were few, but most of them were placed in the corner. The neighbors knew that I was leaving, so they gave me a lot of things, including daily necessities. In my satchel was food, such as boiled eggs, flatbreads, steamed buns, and pickles. If I hadn't been used to the weather here, I would have been reluctant to part with it. Let's go. The old lady was a little reluctant to let go of the newly established neighborly relationship. Yang Sisi, then I won't leave. You still have to go, the old lady added. Whenever I find out I'm pregnant, I'll come back. If there's no one to take care of your child from now on, I'll take care of it for you. It's probably not her turn. Okay, Yang Sisi agreed readily. If she really gives birth to a child, she will not trust her mother-in-law at all. Sisi, the quilt and sheets I gave you are here. The old lady opened the box and pointed at the neatly stacked quilts. Yang Sisi admired it very much. She picked it up, unfolded it, looked left and right, touched the embroidery on it, and praised it repeatedly. It looks good, and your hands are also more skillful. Just coax me. Are these things enough for you to take on your own trip? Well, I'll take this sack to the train station for check-in first. I will take the consignment fee to the train station and give part of it to the beggars. The bag will become lighter immediately, the old lady said. I said that the beggars at the train station are all liars. Just wait here. Ying Sisi picked up the sack and left. Slow down, the old lady chased behind and warned. No it. Ying Sisi went to the train station to check in the goods in advance, returned, picked up sheets and quilts, and took the old lady back to the courtyard. Before they reached the gate, they saw Li Junlu, Li Yue, and Feng Shuangzi guarding there. Sisi, why are you here? Li Junlu was halfway through greeting when he saw the old lady and couldn't believe it. How did you come here? Sisi, was it you who picked her up? She is not a good person. Shen was the one who met your mother through her. If it weren't for her, your mother would definitely be fine. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 370. Chapter 370. Who is the old gangster? Li Junlu has found out clearly that Ying Sisi and Shen Yuxian did not recognize each other. Even though Shen Yuxian has unilaterally written her into the family tree. He then guessed that she did not recognize Shen Yuxian because of Xian's reputation. A person who cares so much about his mother must not be able to bear the harm caused by others to her mother. So, he chose to find Sisi to lower her impression of Shen Yuxian and make their father and daughter enemies. This way Shen Yuxian has no time to find someone to wear small shoes for him. He made Yue squat in the family courtyard for 2 days without seeing anyone. After asking around, I found out that she had moved away. The old lady jumped out of the back seat angrily. You Li Junlu. You actually tried to sow discord between me and Sisi in front of me. How shameless. The truth I told you, you dare to swear that you did not bring them together. Why should I prove it to you? The old lady suddenly smiled. Have you been tricked by Xiao Shen? You can't get any benefits from Xiao Shen, so you want to make a breakthrough from Sisi. Li Junlu's eyes flashed slightly when his scheming was revealed, and he used scolding to cover up his guilty conscience. You are talking nonsense. I am telling the truth. Sisi, think about it for yourself, what the people in the village say about your mother. How can she not be familiar with her? I think this old lady gave your mother the ecstasy soup to please Shen Yuxian. Ying Sisi heard the footsteps of her neighbor. It would not do her any good if the neighbors heard about it and publicized it. You enter the room and speak slowly. The old lady glanced at Sisi and said, this girl, you can't really believe it, can you? No, no. Sisi believed it and was the first to fall out with him. Do you want to beat Li Junlu? Although Li Junlu is very hateful, after all, he and Xu Yan have had drinks, and he can be considered half an elder. Can't hit him. She was thinking about how to stop it. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Feng Shuangzi and couldn't help but widen my eyes. Since she couldn't see clearly, she took out her reading glasses and put them on. This man was clearly the object of her dreams earlier. She couldn't see clearly the face the first 2 times, but then she could see it clearly once. The people in the dream actually appeared in reality. Is it possible that what happened in her dream actually happened? But the person in the dream didn't look as frustrated as he does now. Although his appearance is not too upright, he is not ugly overall, and his momentum is not inferior to that of the banquet speech. Especially when wearing a suit, you look like a human being. It seems that Sisi will really have a great future. Sisi's money made this man handsome. Feng Shuangzi looked back and asked, is there something dirty on my face? Old gangster, she cursed. Feng Shuangzi, who is the old gangster? He is only in his 20s, can he be older than her? Because Ying Sisi was there, he didn't dare to reply. Li Junlu thought that Ying Sisi had listened to his words, and happily entered the room, ready to continue lobbying. After Ying Sisi took them into the courtyard, she stopped walking and said bluntly, "Why did you come to me? There is no purpose, I just want to tell you that Shen and your mother got the certificate and wrote you into the Shen family tree." Ying Sisi rolled her eyes to the sky. How can a person who died together get a certificate? Does the marriage certificate need to be signed by both parties? As for entering the Shen family's genealogy, her surname is Ying. Even if Mr. Shen wants to recognize her again, he can't ignore the rules and let her enter the family tree, right? She sneered, "You are really ridiculous. I don't even know about the Shen family's affairs, but you actually know that the Shen family is whispering into your ears." Shen Yushan said it himself. Li Junlu swears by it. If you don't believe me, ask him. Ying Sisi didn't believe it and wouldn't ask. I see. After knowing this, Li Junlu didn't know how to answer the question. Li Yue said, "There is one more thing, my work, I hope you can help me recover." Ying Sisi couldn't hold back her lips. "This is your purpose?" The old lady also laughed. "It turns out it's for work. Your name is Li Yue, isn't it? I heard Sisi mention you. Originally, I was interested in you at the banquet, but in the end you had to marry a gangster. Pick up sesame seeds and throw away watermelons." "Old lady, why have I become a gangster?" Feng Shuangzi thought that he had changed his mind and started a new life. The old lady was speechless. "I also heard what your father-in-law said." Li Junlu fell down in anger. "When did I tell you this? Shuangzi, don't listen to her chewing maggots." Feng Shuangzi didn't have the patience to listen to Li Junlu's explanation, so he turned around and left. Ying Sisi was so capable, and he got an iron rice bowl job because of her. I don't dare to offend Ying Sisi at all. It was his mother-in-law's family who had always looked down upon him and came to his house to intercede. Only after Li Yue apologized did he be willing to reconcile with Li Yue. It was Li Yue who begged him to hold on to the occasion, so he came today. Who would have thought that his father-in-law's family would arrange him like this outside? There is no good person in the Li family. Hey, don't leave. Li Junlu couldn't catch up and glared at the old lady fiercely. Old ladies. Purely bad. Li Yue said directly, "Ying Sisi, how can you help me? Why should I help you? You harmed me, so you were suspended. If I help you, won't it be in vain for you?" Ying Sisi is still angry because Li Yue's report means that she can no longer sell her goods. The house had to be rented. Once her business normalizes, I don't know how the environment will change. This woman is a stumbling block on her way to making money. She wanted to press him into the mud so that he could not turn over. "If you don't help, I will report your father for having an affair with his helper," Li Yue threatened. Ying Sisi narrowed her eyes. The old lady almost choked on her spit. "You are full of food. Tisk, 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 tisk." Women are afraid of marrying the wrong man, and vice versa. Li Yue couldn't hear this. "Then I'm better than an old woman like you. You also called me an old woman. Why are you comparing yourself to me?" "She is not a girl," Ying Sisi said meaningfully. Li Yue said that she lived to be 69 in her last life. The old lady is far from 69. "That's right, you can't call her a girl when you're married." The old lady looked at Li Yue. She was quite pretty, but unfortunately she was too restless and had no brains. She inherited Li Junlu's eagerness for quick success. Expose your ambitions early. Just expose it if you expose it. The key is that you don't have the ability to control the overall situation. A good background was wasted. You, Li Wei raised her hand and was about to curse. Yang Sisi, my father-in-law and mother-in-law are about to get off work, why don't you leave? Li Junlu lowered his head and looked at his watch. It was already 5:10. He had a head-on confrontation with Qin Yanjun, but he still lacked the courage and ran away in despair. Li Wei said unwillingly, Yang Sisi, just wait for me. The old lady sighed, don't get into trouble and live your life with a man honestly. In her dream, the young man just now stayed with Sisi for so many years, which shows that he has some ability. If you are guided, your achievements will not be too bad even if you are not around Sisi. At least better than most ordinary people. Please vote.